Something essential was gone, and the silence felt like a lie. The wrong choice was already made, and now the line is crossed. Intruders have invaded. Then what happened to the sect leader? The whispers could be heard. Since the strangers were walking out of their sect leader's room, such a reaction was normal. However, Seol-Hwi paid more attention to Sang Cheon-jang than the warriors gathered around. "Captain, how did that bastard get here?" Yang-jin approached him and asked if he noticed it too. Even if they hadn't met at the residence of Jiam Man-yong at the time, he would have known the existence of this escort, Sang Cheon-jang, with the data window. "It is fine, because I hired someone I knew. As always, aren't there people who can be bought? Haha." In Seol-Hwi's head, the scattered pieces were coming together. Gorgeous silk robes. The disciple of Gu Zhangmayang, he must have been the person Jiam Man-yong had bought. After all, the guy who planned this was Sang Cheon-jang. Considering the relationship between the Supreme Pavilion Lord and Gu Zhangmayang, they weren't just any people. "You, what did you do to the sect leader?" A man with his long hair tied up. He was the one man in the colorful uniform of Manhwa with a plum blossom on it, Li Gu-mayang. And when Seol-Hwi didn't say anything, Sang Cheon-jang said, "What did I say? It was hard to get rid of doubts from the moment Jiam Man-yong was threatened. After all, they came here for money." Was this his plan? Seol-Hwi frowned. They intimidated Jiam Man-yong, and now he is turned into a murderer for killing Baek Yang-chun. "How dare you kill the sect leader? I will never let you go. What are you all doing? Block the path?" "Yes." Li Gu-mayang firmly gave out orders, and disciples of the Blue Dragon sect followed his words to block the surroundings with iron bars. Seol-Hwi just watched this quietly. He could slowly understand what was happening, the one who suggested the deadline to them. After that, Sang Cheon-jang appears here and mentions the name of Jiam Man-yong. The reason is to announce that he had no hand in this, but that merchant did. And it must also be the plan to hand the sect of Baek Yang-chun over to Li Gu-mayang, a member of Mount Hua. The Mount Hua with connections, and Mount Hua's former disciple Baek Yang-chun. Now the sect has a reason to go after revenge and profit from it. "You will not be able to get out now." Seol-Hwi looked at Sang Cheon-jang, who had just shouted. It was because of the words he saw. Sang Cheon-jang event is being held mission. Remove Sang Cheon-jang on success. Increase in combat power reward. Blood hand demonic arts, you all are poisonous rats. The shouts of Li Gu-mayang continued as well. And then words appeared one after another. Li Gu-mayang event is being held mission. Remove Li Gu-mayang on success. Increase in combat power reward. Plum Blossom Sword Technique book. It's difficult to get out of this situation now anyway. Seol-Hwi's worries about trying to escape with his people vanished for a moment. To be honest, he wasn't that confident, but somehow he thought he could take down at least one person into the underworld with him. So he thought of how to do it. That was how much he wanted the blood hand demonic martial arts. As the representative martial arts of his sect, it creates a wide range of flames. It is the origin of the flame martial arts that the Supreme Pavilion Lord uses. If I have that. But Seol-Hwi thought he could change his skills by acquiring this. This is because he was able to create new martial arts by combining two different martial arts. If so, what kind of martial arts will emerge by combining the blood hand demonic martial arts and the fiery bare-handed martial arts? If I can get the Plum Blossom sword technique too. The battle he had with Baek Yang-chun remained stuck in his mind. It is a martial art he had never seen and thought of. And if he could get it, he wouldn't have just a high-level technique, but Seol-Hwi would also increase the understanding of the sword techniques he already has. "Captain, what do we do?" Yoram asked with a stiff face. They all knew how bad this situation was. "Run," Seol-Hwi said, turning his gaze away, and he spoke his next words softly. "There is no need to die here. Once I give the signal, you move." Actually, he had no intention of using his subordinates in this fight. The choice of coming here was his own, so they did nothing wrong to deserve death. "But, Captain, what do you mean? We need to fight together." "Oh my, do you think we are the kind to run by letting our captain take the fall?" Seol-Hwi couldn't say anything. Yoram and Jiok Song smiled. "I have always been waiting for such a situation." Yang-jin too. "Let's show them the power of our command unit, Captain." Even Seo-ryong was ready. "I wanted to have a normal life someday, but how can life be this simple?" Imyuge's words were harsh, but they showed his resolve. All of them. They unexpectedly came under his leadership, and now they were standing by him during this crisis. "You all, I will never forget this." Seol-Hwi was determined. After this fight, he decided to not take such risks with his team. Of course, he would have to get stronger for that to happen. At least one target. Seol-Hwi made a promise to himself. In the case of turn-based combat, you need to choose the combat for your subordinates too. What is this now? A new window appeared to Seol-Hwi and shocked him. There are a total of 4 combat modes for your subordinates to follow. Concentrated attack, description. This is a method of ignoring defense to intensively attack the target. This makes the subordinates pour out their maximum power to that one target. Individual attack, description. First, protect themselves from the dangers around them. After that, attack the enemy according to their own judgment. Secondary attack, description. This is a way of assisting Seol-Hwi from behind. Unless there is an emergency, they focus on the safety of Seol-Hwi. Random attack, description. You can issue any order to the subordinate. When a new fighting style appeared, Seol-Hwi immediately knew what to do. Concentrated attack. In situations with no escape, this was the most effective one. Who do you want to focus the attack on? Sang Cheon-jang. Lee Gumayung, he didn't have to decide for long. Combat method of subordinates, concentrated attack. Lee Gumayung? All right. Yes. As soon as the decision was made, the eyes of his subordinates changed, and Seol-Hwi felt it too. Just then, 3 or 4 men who appeared to be warriors of the Blue Dragon sect appeared. Seeing that they all had combat power of over 500,000, they must be the talented ones. However, this was a mistake. A great chance. Seol-Hwi discovered a gap in the Blue Dragon sect's Disciple 1. How will you respond? A great chance. Seol-Hwi discovered a gap in the Blue Dragon sect's Disciple 2. How will you respond? A great chance. Seol-Hwi discovered a gap in the Blue Dragon sect's Disciple 3. How will you respond? A sudden thought flashed into Seol-Hwi's head. Right, there is something in the toolbox to restore my health. Seol-Hwi hurriedly opened the toolbox. Use toolbox and he chose it. Recovery on the list. Full body recovery pill, golden spear medicine 3, a pill he hadn't used, so he chose it. And the result? Health and internal energy partially restored. Seol-Hwi health. 33,000, 200,000 up arrow, /1.2 million internal energy. 2.4 million, 110,000 up arrow, /2.4 million his health recovered about a third, and his internal energy was fully restored. What good will this do? And for the gap with the Disciple 2, he chose again. Use toolbox this time he used the golden spear medicine. Health is slightly restored. Seol-Hwi health. 33,000, 0.1 million up arrow, /1.2 million internal energy, 2.4 million /2.4 million. This barely even worked, so using it was a waste of time. And the last gap. Approach the opponent. Seol-Hwi chose to approach. East, south, west, north. Which location would you like to move? That said, he chose east, and there was a reason. As soon as his eyes flashed, Seol-Hwi appeared right in front of the man. His eyes looked at just one disciple, but he could feel all 3 of them, and Seol-Hwi immediately attacked. Wind God Sword Kwang. The actions were simple, raising the sword down, right, bottom, and forward. However, the storm that it produced was something no one could ignore. Q-ak, ak, ak. They couldn't even think about defending. The airflow generated by Seol-Hwi ripped their clothes apart, and they were thrown into the sky simultaneously. In addition, the wind swirling violently around them had lightning interspersed, which shocked their bodies. Thud, and the 3 disciples fell down and didn't get up again. What? In front of such overwhelming power, the warriors were all shocked. Some of them were trembling, and others were slowly taking steps back. Now, Seol-Hwi shouted to his team. As if waiting, his subordinates leaped and rushed to Lee Gumayung. The rest of the fight had now begun, turn-based. A combat style that takes advantage of the opponent's gaps. Seol-Hwi has been using turn-based quite a lot, and at one point he realized it wasn't an effective method. The reason why was that there was no way to make the impossible possible unless he went with AI or simulation. But it felt good this time, and it wasn't all useless, being able to use the toolbox for recovery first off, and appropriately attacking according to the situation to reduce the variables, and he felt it this time. The best combat style to use should be turn-based. A great chance. Seol-Hwi discovered a gap in the Blue Dragon sect's Disciple 14. How will you respond? He could show amazing movements and attacks with enemies less skilled than him. What made his attacks even more powerful were the shoes that Elder Beacon had given to him, and that made this attack easier to use. The four-peaked demonic martial arts. Ack! Ack! A storm of energy raged in all directions. The warriors who were gathered around him in 100 meters were swept away. They couldn't handle it. Seol-Hwi's movements were as fast as lightning, his martial arts were overwhelming, and his internal energy was infinite. Wake! Wake! The storm of energy blew away all the warriors. However, the advantage didn't continue. Warning. Sang Cheon-jang has found a gap in Seol-Hwi. How will you respond? This is because Sang Cheon-jang, watching from behind, finally intervened in the fight. Seol-Hwi knew that a warning window would come. If he tries to get rid of the warriors of this sect, at some point, Sang Cheon-jang will aim for him. Of course, he couldn't rule out the possibility that his subordinates would defend him. Yet, Seol-Hwi decided that he wouldn't let that happen. This man is inferior to the disciple of Gu Zhangmayang, and someone like Li Gumayang would not like being helped by someone weaker. Not just that, he decided it would be better to aim at him in order to get this sect under control. Respond directly, defend. Run away honestly, he wasn't afraid. Although the man had higher combat power than Seol-Hwi, he had fought against Baek Yangchun, who was even stronger. And Seol-Hwi had his own plan to deal with this opponent. You have selected defend. Kaiying. Strong sword energy was created. This choice differs from run away, where the opponent's body flashes and shows the location. This choice doesn't show the back, but it gives him time to respond in his own way. Seol-Hwi turned around in an instant, but his opponent's attack was faster. The sword's blade passed through his shoulder. Qak! Seol-Hwi, who was pushed back, had to quickly adjust his form. But still, Seol-Hwi was smiling faintly. Seol-Hwi health, 320,000, down arrow 10,000, slash 1.2 million internal energy, 2.18 million, down arrow 220,000, slash 2.4 million, this is it. Seol-Hwi used the white light body demonic martial arts self-defense technique. When defending with it, the damage is spread around and reduces the effect on the body. Not just that, when protecting the body by consuming internal energy, it has the effect of reducing damage even more without taking fatal injuries. What, but I just... Sang Cheon-jang also noticed it. His sword didn't hit any vital points, but the blade should have pierced through despite that. Instead, the sword had bounced back without piercing, so his confusion was understandable. I wonder how good a fighter the third ranked in the Supreme Pavilion is, Seol-Hwi asked calmly. What? What are you so surprised about? I am asking because I already know who you are. At those words, Sang Cheon-jang's expression hardened, and his words were ice cold as he said, The Supreme Pavilion Lord said you were a dangerous person, but now I see. You are someone who shouldn't be left alive. Seol-Hwi smiled at this. Look at you. Did you think I was ever deceived by your actions? If that's the case, you thought wrong. I just wanted to look at the trap you laid. Because of that, those behind you. And how your relationship with GM Manyong and the sect leader of the Blue Dragon sect is connected can be known. Seol-Hwi looked at the warriors of the Blue Dragon sect who were around him. This wasn't any simple move. Instant turn-based. Not at Sang Cheon-jang, but the warriors of the sect are where this will be used. But I also have some unexpected information, seeing that the disciple of Gu Zhangmayang is here. It must have been designed by the Supreme Pavilion Lord, who is known to have a good relationship with Gu Zhangmayang. What? In an instant, the opponent's eyes were wide. Seol-Hwi moved without listening to his answer. Turn-based combat was activated for the warriors who were on the side. In an instant, Seol-Hwi disappeared. At least, that was how it looked like to others, and the opponents hurriedly looked around to find him. Jiarara Renji, a powerful storm of energy threw the warriors up into the sky. What? Jiarara Renji. The storm of energy was fast and powerful. Seol-Hwi was unfolding the Wind God Sword, which normally needed his best effort so easily. While watching the martial arts of Seol-Hwi, Sang Cheon-jang continued to think that it was something he knew. What was being used now was nothing else but the four-peaked demonic martial arts. How did he get that power? He couldn't understand this. He felt lost for a moment and soon realized how dangerous it was to lose concentration here. A great chance. Seol-Hwi discovered a gap in Sang Cheon-jang. How will you respond? As expected, Seol-Hwi's eyes shone. He tried to use turn-based combat, hoping for this, but he didn't actually think it would work. A gap was created. After a few words of their conversation, which showed that Seol-Hwi knew the truth, The mental walls inside of his opponent's mind had come crashing down, and it was possible to move instantly by choosing to get close. Seol-Hwi was able to go there right away. In Seol-Hwi's eyes, who had been moving so many times in the same way, the desired thing appeared. A confirmed gap. Attack, use martial arts, use toolbox, get close to your opponent you have chosen to attack. This time, Seol-Hwi got the first chance. The best form of attack is to use the Wind God Sword. This is because he prepared in advance for the movement of the Wind God Sword when moving. You have selected Attack. -3 seconds back, he could see Sang Cheon-jang's head slowly turning back. Seol-Hwi, taking a short leap before getting close to Sang Cheon-jang, had to unfold the connecting motion of the Wind God Sword. In the state of leaping like that, Seol-Hwi had calculated Sang Cheon-jang's movement beforehand. He could do nothing to defend against Seol-Hwi. You have used the Wind God Sword technique. The desired purpose was achieved. Quang! The Wind God Sword technique happened right in front of the eyes of Seol-Hwi, and as it moved ahead, it hit his opponent's body. Sang Cheon-jang curled his body against the wind. He fell to the ground, but something caught Seol-Hwi's notice. What? His opponent was up right away. Despite being hit, he didn't seem to suffer too much damage. Sang Cheon-jang 3 RD ranked in Supreme Pavilion Health. 3.2 million, down arrow 1.2 million. /4.4 million. Was it because the distance was too short? Seol-Hwi was disappointed. Even though his opponent had lost a third of his health, he couldn't be satisfied. This was the turn-based combat method, and because the hit was close to one time only, it wouldn't be easy to do this again. Quack, you. Right, I admit it. It was my mistake to underestimate you. His upper body was wounded, and he was walking towards Seol-Hwi. Unlike the wounds on his body, his eyes looked clear. Now I will treat you as an equal opponent. His face turned red, and red energy gradually went to his hand where flames began to rise. The flames on his sword, a bright yellow flame that danced erratically. It couldn't be taken lightly by Seol-Hwi. That was the blood hand demonic arts he would get as a reward for the mission. Even the ice body armor may not be able to stop it. However, a problem arose because of the opponent's martial arts. Ice body armor is a defense technique that uses ice energy, and its opposite is the flame energy, which causes greater damage. Now, shall we try again? Seol-Hwi felt trepidation at the remarks of his opponent. The real fight against Sang Cheon-jang begins now. Blood hand demonic martial arts. One of the representative martial arts of the sect, it is known to be one of the best. Several martial arts are based on fire, but this one represents the demonic sect. In particular, most advanced and higher demonic martial arts are based on the blood hand martial arts. Ching, Quack. Seol-Hwi exchanged blows and was pushed back. It looked like a simple push, but strictly speaking, it was Sang Cheon-jang's strength. Damn it, his martial arts. Seol-Hwi bit his lip as he thought about it. Ice and fire don't go together. Although they are using martial arts opposite to each other's attributes, the blood hand was stronger in terms of quality. Perhaps it is a problem that comes from the difference in combat power, or maybe it is because of the experience. And because of that, Seol-Hwi took higher damage. He and his opponent continued fighting each other. And in the fight, Seol-Hwi felt his internal energy being consumed at a rapid pace. At the same time, he realized that there was no way to defeat the opponent in the usual way. Seol-Hwi health, 300,000, down arrow, 20,000, /1.2 million internal energy, 1.16 million, down arrow, 1.02 million, /2.4 million Sang Cheon-jang health, 3.19 million, down arrow, 10,000, /4.4 million internal energy, 4.14 million, down arrow, 360,000, /4.5 million, ha. It was evident in the numbers. The ice body armor was taking more damage from even the slightest attack of blood hand. On the other hand, the opponent didn't take much damage. Moreover, until now, it has been a battle of strength, and a single blow can lead to a greater loss. Sang Cheon-jang was smiling. Unlike a little while back, Seol-Hwi's opponent was sure of his victory now. Damn it! Should I just use AI? At that moment, Seol-Hwi had no choice but to feel conflicted. Actually, he wanted to see it when fighting Lee Gumayang. The AI has the ability to win even when the combat power is doubled, but if he used it here, he couldn't do it again. There's no time. Seol-Hwi glanced at his subordinates who were fighting Lee Gumayang. It seemed like they were gradually falling back. No matter how many people attack the target, it is impossible to subdue a man with combat power several times greater than all combined. No matter how much the hidden truth core crawls around, you should know your limits. Aren't you the ones who haven't been able to fully master even a single martial art of the sect? He was laughing in their faces while provoking Seol-Hwi's anger. Did you say everything you wanted to? Ah, your mouth seems alive and well. Think it is just the mouth. Seol-Hwi looked up. In the end, this is the only way to defeat this man. Experience it. What a fight is. Combat method AI. As soon as he did that, his view changed. He was looking down on his own body, and the first reaction of the AI was, ha 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 ha. It was an outright laugh. Why are you laughing like this? Sang Cheon-jang asked. Shut your mouth, you're going to be a goner soon. What? He was angry. However, the eyes of AI were looking up at Seol-Hwi. You brat, you used it well. You cannot be satisfied with just learning the martial arts. If you learn it that way, you will never be able to get out of this system. Learn martial arts properly, not from the system, but from basics. You must understand its needs and, more broadly, the martial arts itself. It isn't about learning just the technique, but why the technique was made. You need to understand the background of it, the lives put into making it, and the thoughts. What is it saying? Seol-Hwi was shocked. Understand the secret behind martial arts? What? It makes no sense to understand the story behind it. Listen, the difference in martial arts happens from there. If you understand and realize it, you can make something higher. For example, you bastard. But AI Seol-Hwi didn't even pay him any attention. In the blink of an eye, Sang Cheon-jang was close to the AI. You can do this. The sword was drawn diagonally, and Kuak, Sang Cheon-jang fell to the ground. His body split in half with just one hit. AI Seol-Hwi was standing in a relaxed position. This is what it means to not get eaten by the system.